Today we'd like to talk about training zone, how to set up a training zone, how to make it a good one for you anywhere around your home or wherever you spend most of your time. If you're going to be a good student in school, you've got to set up a homework space, a place where you can study, like it or not, you do. And if you want to be a good soccer player, you're going to have to set up a training space, a training zone. If you're old, then you may remember highway to the training zone. If you're not, you think that looks dumb, but that's okay. As long as you're listening, pay attention. We're going to talk about 3 major portions of setting up your training zone. Alright, what we have to do first before we can do anything else when we're setting up our training zone is we got to clean it up a little bit. Safety first, you don't want to trip over stuff, slide on stuff. When you slide, you want it to be under somebody else's feet or a ball. And when you trip, you want to make it into a cool move. But as far as doing it when no one's looking, not fun. So what we have here is a lot of debris. It's fall out here in the south. And we've got a lot of leaves down. So for my area, I'm going to go ahead and sweep up, keep it nice and clean. I won't even let the parents know that you're cleaning up because I don't want to set a bad precedent. Physical space is important. We're going to have a little bit of physical space before we can train properly. We like a 5x5 or 10x10 grid. That means 5 steps one way by 5 steps the other, or if you can get 10 steps one way and 10 steps the other, it helps. You don't need much space because you're going to train on your own most of the time. You have to develop a relationship with the ball, and typically that's going to be you and the ball. So let's see what 5x5 might look like here just on my back deck. Not too big. We're going to keep it nice and tight, and anytime it gets to the edge of your grid, you're going to cut that ball back and exhibit extra skill. Alright, what we need next is our equipment. And of course you're going to have equipment before you do a little training. You don't need much, but you need very specific pieces of equipment. Let me start over here on our electronics. Right here, I have my phone. On my phone, I have the music. Music's very important for Samba foot soccer because it's what gives us our rhythm as we play. Here I have a Bose SoundLink Mini. It's a very good one. I like it a lot. There's many like this. However, what this does is it just plays my music louder. Anything that comes through my phone, my music, my interval timer that I'll tell you about in just a second, it all plays through here and I can hear it much louder this way. I really enjoy this. Thanks, honey. Christmas present. Alright, what I have on my phone besides just music is that interval timer I mentioned. This thing is called a Simple Interval Timer. It's just an app I downloaded, and it's called the SIT, Simple Interval Timer, SIT app, and it's free. And there's a lot of free interval timers. All you need to download if you want to do this method is to download something that will give you a beep at a certain time interval and a beep at another certain time interval. I like to work for 40 seconds and then rest for 20 seconds, so I set my beep for 40 and 20 seconds a piece. It's really easy to use, and it comes through your music, gives you your beep, lets you know when to come over, have your sip of water and rest for a minute. Next thing we have to have is we have to have our Samba foot manuals. You can see here I've got one for the regular foundation series that we go over in another post. We've got one for the inside of the foot, we've got one for the outside of the foot, we have some special juggling ones. But anyway, bring what you want to do. Even if you don't have the Samba foot training manual, what you can do is you can just put it together on an index card. What do you plan on doing? What do you want to accomplish with your 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes? Just be really specific about what you want to do and then improvise from there. My favorite parts now are balls. This one is a size 5 regulation ball. I always like to have the ball I'm going to play in the official game with me, though it's not my favorite thing to train with at all. What I like to do is have this, so at the end of my training session, I pick this one up, I put it on my feet, I have a little go with it, and I find out how much better I've gotten because of using my training ball. This lets you know how easy the game's going to be because you train so very hard with Samba foot soccer, or whatever kind of soccer system you follow. This one right here is the piece de resistance. That's French for really good training ball. Alright, this is called a football de salon ball. This ball is beat up, as you can see. That means I've been working with this ball, and the kids that I coach or play with have been working with this ball. This ball is a size 2, low bounce, so when I drop it, even though it's flat right now, it won't give much rebound at all, and it's very heavy. This ball right here, if I can train and do anything with this ball, I can be excellent with doing it with a size 5 ball. It's like if you went to the batting cages in baseball and they were pitching you golf balls over and over and you were having to swing at them, hit those out of the park. Once you train with the regular ball, you're going to be amazing. Trust me. All right, as you can see, these balls though have gone a bit flat because of our recent winter weather. So I'm gonna take a minute, finish up setting up our equipment, and then we'll get our space ready and go to town on our training today. So I bought this pump for one reason and one reason alone. It hides the needle right there and has a little piece that goes over it. Always stays with the pump, always stays safe right there. I like that feature about it. If you don't have that, get a little Altoids tin or something like that. Keep all your needles in it and keep it in a safe place. They are your precious. All right, once we load the needle in, then you'll know how to do this. You just put it in or screw it in, depending on the type. You're gonna need to moisten the tip of the needle. They say to use some kind of lubricant or oil when you do this to keep your balls very precious and safe. I never have that with me, and so I have to use the old lick the needle technique, and this is what you've seen your dad or your coach do, and he just takes it and goes all over the needle right there. Moisten the needle tip, basically. Then we very carefully find the hole in the ball and we plug in. Softly and carefully, you don't want to push that in. All right. Lastly, I'm going to lock this piece up, locks it right in there, and we're ready to pump. You want to pump until you can push in one of these panels. It'll go in, but it won't make the seams bend in. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, you have now traveled the highway to the training zone. Congratulations. You set up your physical space. You made sure to keep safety first by clearing that space. You got all the equipment you need, including the Football Day Salao ball. Best training tool there is, in my opinion. So you're ready to train. Let's do it.